Good morning, everyone. Guys, this morning I'm going to talk about one of those prickly subjects that everybody tries to scream away from. And it's the reality of mass migration into the United Kingdom. But, guys, if we look over the pond, this is happening as well in the United States. So I've been looking around and looking at historic precedents of this. And, the reality of the situation is this could be a precursor to something coming that's a lot bigger than we can possibly imagine. And it also goes in line with what we always talk about in this channel. But I just want to talk about some logistics of mass migration. Now, I'm going to talk about this in a sober, practical mind and try and take emotions out of this equation. Now, the amount of people that we're having come to the United Kingdom over the last, couple of years, it's absolutely insane. Now we've got this new government under Keir Starmer. It doesn't look like that's going to stop, and that is just the reality. We can complain, we can protest if we're still allowed. We can have as many online petitions as we want. But until the government understand that they need to put the Royal Navy on the border between India and British Channel, on the border between English waters and French waters, and then send vessels back when they see them approaching, until that happens, this is going to continue, and it's going to, I'm guessing, accelerate. Why? Well, why not? There's no incentive for people not to come here. Now, I totally understand if if people are from a country that's, that is, for wanting to term, one of Donald Trump's, phrases, that are not in the state that the United Kingdom are in. Now, realistically, how long can we support this in the United Kingdom? Like, how many more people can we take? There's got to be a number before it just gets to a point where we're broken. The outgoings is more than the incomes, and we just can't provide for these people anymore. I don't know what the number is, guys. I don't think we're there yet, but obviously every day we get closer. Now, logistically, once these people are in this country, I genuinely don't know how, at the moment, without us leaving the European Court of Human Rights, I don't know how we're going to manage to deport them, and where are we going to deport them to, and what's going to stop them just coming straight back. I genuinely don't know, unless we put these guys in prison, but they've done nothing, they've not done anything wrong. So, and that's going to have a certain, financial burden with it. So I genuinely don't know the reason. I don't know the answer to that, but what I'm going to come to at the end is historic precedents and how these things, how this has previously ended. So where are all these houses going to come from? Because if you understand the building industry in the building industry in the United Kingdom, we don't have enough builders to build this many houses. We don't have enough builders to build houses for the people who are already here. So when the Labour governments are coming up and they're saying we're going to build all these new houses and we're going to give we're not going to give priority to people who live here already. And guys, that's a different video altogether. Obviously, if you live here in the United Kingdom and you've paid tax in the United Kingdom, you should take priority over government funded projects. That's just the reality. But we're not getting into that. What I'm getting at here, guys, is the actual logistics. Who are going to build these houses? Because we don't have enough builders, we don't have enough bricklayers, we don't have enough plumbers, we don't have enough electricians to build all these proposed houses. So who is going to build them? So all these grand gesturing, the government are doing, saying, oh, we're going to build this many houses. Okay, fine. Who's going to build them? We don't have enough builders, all right? It doesn't make sense. The logistics are not there. Anyway, let me just read you something quickly, guys, and I'm certainly not going to share this because I don't want you to see the keywords. Where is it? Hang on, let me scroll up. Here we are. No, not that one. Here we are, guys. The refugees seeking haven were poor and disease-ridden. They threatened to take jobs away and strain welfare budgets. They practiced an alien religion and pledged allegiance to a foreign leader. They were bringing with them crime and were accused of being rapists. What does that sound like? Well, I'm just going to read you this again, and I'm going to add all the words. The refugees were seeking haven in America the refugees that were seeking haven in America were poor and disease-ridden. They threatened to take jobs away from the Americans and strain welfare budgets. They practiced an alien religion and pledged allegiance to a foreign leader. They were bringing with them crime and were accused of rape. These undesirables were Irish. So this is, this is from the, from the History Channel. I'll put the link in the description. Now, in the 1840s, I think, 1845, around that time, there was a mass influx of Irish migrants into America. Conflict between Conflict between Protestants and Catholics in the United States had already broken out in violence before the first potato plant wilted in Ireland. Anti-Catholic, anti-Irish mobs in Philadelphia destroyed houses and torched churches in the deadly Bible riots of 1844. New York Archbishop John Hughes responded by building a wall of his own around Old St. Patrick's Cathedral in order to protect it from the native-born population. And he stationed musket-wielding members of the ancient order of Hibernians to guard the city's churches. Wild conspiracy theories took root that women were billed. I'm not going to read that, guys. It's not very savory. But you see what history is showing us, that these things look like they're repeating. So during the American Civil War, if you were drafted by the North, you could pay a substitute. So you could basically pay $300 for a substitute to take your place. The Irish, largely impoverished new immigrants, were the underclass and were readily available to accept the $300, so that real Americans didn't have to fight for their country. So this is the precedence that's happened historically. There were people paying $300, and as I understand it, they were paying $300 to Irish migrants. The Irish migrants would then go and fight in the American Civil War. Which brings me on to what's happening today, and now, guys, we're going to go down conspiracy lane a little bit, because a lot of people are saying, are these people going to be given, are these people going to be put into the military? Are these people going to be put into the police? Well, there's already a historic precedence for that happening in the world. Now, if you look around the world at the moment, it does look like we're encroaching on a third world war. If you look at the body count numbers from the conflict in Ukraine and now the conflict in Russia, these numbers are astonishing. When you consider that the British military in Afghanistan took 457, there was 457 deaths in the 20-year deployment to Afghanistan. So 457 in 20 years. If you look at some of the numbers that are coming out of Ukraine, some estimates are, that people have lost 1,000 people in a day. Now, it's very difficult to get the correct numbers from that conflict, because each side are calculating the numbers differently. Each side are inflating the opposite side's casualties. But the reality is, some people are saying 250,000 people have died. If you take into consideration both sides, some people are saying it's a lot higher. Some people are saying it's considerably less. But, it's a lot more than 457. And this conflict, guys, when these things happen, it's going to be a huge, casualty conflict. Now, the next question, and again, this is down conspiracy lane, is, could this be the reason that, the government are not stopping this influx of people? And I genuinely don't know the answer to that, guys. I think I put my thoughts have been quite clear on this channel. I want strong policing, strong borders, and I want our laws to be enforced, not one-sided. But that's the reality of the situation, guys, okay? historic precedence is there from the United States where, and there was what's that movie? I'm just thinking of it now. It's got Leonardo DiCaprio in it, and he's got I think he's got one eye. Gangs of New York. So there's a scene, I think, on Gangs of New York where the Irish are coming off the boat and they're saying, sign there to be a US citizen, sign there to join the army, go fight for your country, son, or something like that. And, just that image is coming to my mind, but I don't know if this is going to happen, guys. But the reality is we don't have enough people to build these houses. We don't have the legal capacity to remove this amount of migrants from our country. It's just not a thing. Now, what we know, what history's taught us, is from the American Civil War, these Irish units, because those Irish units didn't class themselves as American, because they'd only just got there and they didn't have that affinity with America at that time. I know now they do. They were the first ranks to run and fail when there was in these conflicts, and they was the first people to desert. So, it's not really a black and white case of, sending people is a good thing. It's not always a good thing, but equally, anyway, I'm not going to get into it, guys. All I'm putting it out there is the historic precedence is there. I don't know if this is a thing or not. I'll let you guys decide. I'll put the links in the description. I'll let you guys decide yourself. But guys, there is not enough builders to build these houses in the United Kingdom to house all these people. So where are they going to go? I genuinely don't know, guys. I don't know the answer. I've got suspicions, and and my suspicions, I'll communicate my suspicions when I get more evidence. But anyway, guys, that's it for this morning. I'm going to see you guys later. I'm going to back to grid.